Welcome to ESPN's College Football. Tonight, the 24th-ranked LSU Tigers take on the 12th-ranked Florida Gators. All season, ESPN's Saturday Night College Football will be broadcast in high definition, presented by Phillips and Best Buy. The series history, all-time, Florida leads it 27-20-3. They've won 14 of the last 16 games. Florida winning over number 6 LSU last year. In fact, the only loss that the co-national champion LSU Tigers had was 19-7 at the hands of these gentlemen right here. The man is simply referred to as Petro will kick it off. Number 10, Joseph Adai, one of the deep men, along with Xavier Carter. And from Sky Cam, a very good look, and here's the kick. That is going to go out of bounds, and they will assess the penalty, which gives us an opportunity to talk about the combatants in this ball game. Jamarcus Russell. Mike, he didn't start in last week's ball game. How much of a difference does it make never having been a starter as far as the Butterflies?
Not tonight, Ron. It's mid-year. Jamarcus Russell has been waiting for this chance. He needs a good start with his offense. He has to have the running game, the offensive line. They've got to open up the running game, take pressure off Jamarcus, let him play freelance.
Good look at Marcus Randall, the senior out of Baton Rouge, who has been starting, but the freshman, redshirt freshman, has replaced him. Boy, this crowd is up and making a lot of racket early here in Gainesville. Two tight end alignment for the Tigers to open tonight. Wide receiver to either side. Play action for Broussard. Pass back over the middle. Did he get it complete? Yes. David Jones, the tight end, on the receiving end, and that's good for 13 yards. Here are the remainder of the starters on offense. Ali Broussard. When they go two backs, it'll be Jacob Hester at fullback. David Jones, Silver Spring, Maryland, the tight end who just made the catch. Dwayne Bowe and Skyler Green playing. Both have had ankle problems. Whitworth, Arnold, Wilkerson, Johnson, and Niswanger, the starters tonight in the offensive front. Niswanger replacing Nate Livings. Here's Broussard. Takes it across midfield and is going to be knocked down after a gain of 3. Here are the starters defensively for the Florida Gators. The down 4, Cohen, Marcus Thomas, Ray McDonald, and Jeremy Mency. The linebackers, they only have one, number 55, but you'll think that they have more than one. Channing Crowder seems to be all over the field every game that they play. The area that could be suspect, the secondary. D. Webb and Ronaldo Hill, Corey Bailey, and Jarvis Herring making up that defensive secondary. Play action. Here comes blitz. Throws it into the flat, has that one complete. And that is Jacob Hester, the man we were just talking about, the fullback. And a good mixing of plays by Jimbo early in this ball game.
Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator. I talked about Jamarcus Russell. This is a start of a new era at LSU. He's very capable, as I said. He's a great young prospect. He feels like he's confident enough tonight. He's got his feet under him. He's got a good start.
Boy, he took quite a hit from Channing Crowder, who was coming up the gut on the blitz, but he got the pass away. First down. Flag goes down. Broussard, very short yardage. He'll make it to the 35-yard line. Joe Cohen on the stop. Mike, as we wait for Steve Shaw, our referee tonight, to give us the call. Shift illegally done by the LSU Tigers, so they'll take a walk back. The interesting thing about LSU starting this ball game tonight, you can tell by early intensity whether focus is there. And if I had to say, after these very few plays, Tigers are extremely focused tonight, which they were not last week.
Sometimes when you win, Ron, and you win every week, sometimes you lose your focus. You start to think, you start to get a little lazy. LSU lost to Auburn, then lost to Georgia last week. I'm sure Nick Saban had all their intention all week. They know what they have to do. They have practiced hard this week for this game.
Again, the Tigers will come out two tight end alignment, wide receiver to either side. Russell right over the middle, got that one complete, and that's Craig Davis. And Davis is close to the first down inside the 30. Jarvis Herring making the tackle, but it's a gain of 14 yards.
The other thing I like about it is they're starting him with easy passes. They rolled him out on the first play. This is a little short pass to Craig Davis underneath the zone coverage, and that builds confidence in the young quarterback. But forget about him being a redshirt freshman. He's a veteran now.
Well, you see his season numbers, 51% completion, 724, 6 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Broussard hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he is going to be knocked down for a yard loss by Ray McDonald. McDonald has been the anchor up front of the down 4. He's the guy that has been the most impressive so far this season.
Shows good quickness. That's why you got to move around if you're Florida on defense. You're undersized in the front 4. LSU's offensive line very huge, so you got to move Ray McDonald around, slant him right or left.
Well, we mentioned the change that Niswanger moves over to right tackle. Coach Saban has not been pleased with the results by the offensive line. Joseph Abai, number 10, checks in at tailback. Third down, they need to take it to the 28. Looking right over the middle, got a man, and it's complete to Bow. No, he dropped the ball, incomplete.
Corey Bailey with a good play. Number 7 knocked it away from Dwayne Bowe. A well-thrown ball by Jamarcus Russell. He came off his first read, and they found Dwayne Bowe, but Corey Bailey with a good hit dislodges the football.
Bowe has been impressive. He is playing with an injured ankle, as is Skylar Green. Chris Jackson comes in to attempt a 48-yard field goal from the far hash mark. Matt Flynn, the holder. High pass. He gets it down. Got plenty of distance. And wide to the right and no good. So LSU takes the opening kickoff and moves it right down the field. But then a nice defensive play in the secondary. Pass. They were unable to hold on. And this one here is long enough, but it will not hook back in.
You're the defense of LSU all week. You've been waiting for an offense to show up, so the defense now can feed off the offensive effort, even though they came up with a zip.
So that means Chris Leak and company will step on. Chris, the sophomore out of Charlotte, North Carolina, an extremely gifted athlete. Throws well, runs very well. Face him, gets the pitch back. Going to be hit at the line of scrimmage, and coming up, number 58, Lionel Turner, the middle linebacker. And Mike, talk a little bit more about Chris Leak and his abilities, because here's a youngster that everybody was after, Florida Lansing.
Ron, he plays like a senior, 5th-year senior. He's only a sophomore. He played last year as a freshman. He's uncanny about his ability to do things on the football field. Ice water in his veins. No effect.
Three wide receivers, as you can see, stacked to the top of your screen. Leak steps up, drills the ball in and out of the hands of O.J. Small. And now it's going to be a third down and long situation. Faison, we've already seen him tonight at tailback. When they go two back, let's go the fullback. Thompson is the tight end, more of a blocker than a catcher. O.J. Small and Andre Caldwell are the wide receivers. Up front of the offensive line, Colin, Butler, DeGore. And Mike DeGore there in the middle is the leader of that group. Mo Mitchell and Randy Hand. And Hand has got his hands full tonight, so to speak. He's working against big Marcus Spears, the All-American defensive end for the LSU Tigers. Third down and 6. They need to take it out to the 41 to keep this opening drive going. Right over the middle. Got the pass. Nice defensive play. And it is knocked away by Daniels.
Jesse Daniels with a good play. Ron shot his hand in there. They're trying to get the ball to O.J. Small, so the defense of LSU did feed off the offense.
And you could see he kept the right hand off his back. He was able to get the left hand out front and knock it away. Ball just a little underthrown, which also allowed Daniels to get there and make the play. Wilbur with the kick. Oh, this is a dandy. Way back, Skylar Green backtracks at the 5-yard line. Back up the middle, and he'll take it across the 15. But a nice job by the special teams. That's 57 on the punt and 10 on the return. Well, you think these Florida fans are not anxious? Offensive series for each. LSU will scrimmage from their own 18-yard line. That is a season long on that punt. Play action to Broussard. Got a man open, and the ball is intercepted at the 25-yard line. It's D. Webb. D. Webb will take it inside the 10 down to the 5. It will be first and goal for the Florida Gators.
Tried to get the ball to Keith Zinger. Jamarcus Russell rolls out, never sees D. Webb. Threw it right to him.
Well, you could see he had the receiver open, just needed to put just a little air under it, but he put it on a line, and a good pickoff right there. 20 on the return, first and goal, and the Gators quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Facing the lone setback. And Lick wants a timeout.
A lot of movement by LSU's defense.
So we'll take a timeout. The interception gives the Gators great field position. We'll be right back. Look at cornerback Demetrius Webb. His teammates simply call him D. D. Webb with the pickoff, and he has put his team in excellent field position at the 5-yard line. 20 yards on the return. And you look into the eyes of Chris Leak, the sophomore out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Not a big talker, a silent leader, leading by example. And he does a great job with that. 3 wide receivers to the top of your screen, which is to the right. Caldwell in motion and resets. Pressure up the middle, got him in and out of his hands, and the man we're just talking about, O.J. Small. O.J.'s had a tough start tonight.
Well, O.J. got hurt in practice Thursday. And when Ron Zook did his radio show that night, O.J. Small called him. He had turned his knee on the practice field. Here the ball's right in there, and just couldn't bring it in. But O.J. Small was hurt, but called Ron Zook, said, I'm fine, I'll be playing.
Ronnie Prude, number 8, give him credit. You could see a hand stuck in there to help knock the pass away. So it's second down and goal. Faison. Touchdown, Florida. Jesse Daniels was trying desperately to keep him out of the end zone, but the turnover cost the Tigers a touchdown. To attempt the extra point, trying to make it a 7-0 ball game at the 10-18 mark. And he does.
It's going to come down to turnovers in this football game. Jamarcus Russell makes the first one, and it's a big one. Backed up, they try to throw a pass here on first down, get it picked off by D. Webb. And then Faison takes it into the end zone on the draw play. See, nice blocking by the offensive line.
So Cedric Faison scores from 5 yards out. He goes by C4 because of wearing the number 4. And knowing that that is an explosive, that's his nickname. On the near sideline, Chris Leak talks it over with the offensive coaches, and it's interesting. LSU came out smoking. They're the ones that have all the yardage. Florida only has 9 total yards. But that's one of those things. It's the ways of the world in football when you get a turnover and put it back in great field position.
Turnover, and then all of a sudden you take advantage of it. And now you put pressure on Jamarcus Russell in the offense of LSU.
Joseph Adai and Xavier Carter back in a dual safety. So Florida playing the part of the opportunist. They go on the scoreboard first, 7-0. You have to watch and see how much the intensity, if any, by LSU, if it does get to them a little bit. The fact that they did play so well early, and they are the ones that are down 7-0. Carter's going to bring it out about 3 yards deep in the end zone. He'll not make it to the 20. Ali Broussard gets the handoff right up the middle, thundering. Has 5 yards, counted off at close to 10. Aaron Andrews down on the sideline, third member of our team. What do you got for us?
Well, Ron, before the game, I did speak with LSU offensive coordinator Jimbo Fisher. He's not worried about Jamarcus Russell feeling the pressure tonight by the Gators. He said they're starting him because they wanted to change up the lineup. They wanted to add a jolt to the offense. Now, head coach Nick Saban gave him the news this morning. Now, in the past, LSU has used a prearranged schedule for rotating their quarterbacks. Tonight, they threw that script out. They told senior quarterback Marcus Randall he will get into the game when they feel they need him, guys.
Okay, thanks, Aaron. Hester checks in at fullback. Quick throw out in the flat. Got that one complete to Skylar Green. And that is a nice job defensively. Ronaldo Hill tracked that one down rapidly.
Going back to what Aaron reported, I believe Nick Saban's made a decision this week. Jamarcus Russell is the future. And so you might as well go with him right now. You're out of the West, all practical purposes. So the future's now. Jamarcus is the guy.
Justin Vincent, number 25, the MVP in last year's national championship game down in the Sugar Bowl, comes into the lineup. Russell throwing tonight, 4 of 6, 1 interception, 40 yards. Drills this pass, has it complete. 35, 37-yard line, Skylar Green, and he gets tackled by one leg by Earl Everett.
Skylar Green is a very good wide receiver. He was injured when we did the Oregon State game early in the season, his ankle injury, and see he still limps. Never fully recovered.
That's a high ankle sprain, and Mike, he hurt that in their first scrimmage, way back in preseason camp, and has just not been able to get back 100%. He's close. Adam Broussard checks back into tailback, replacing Vincent. Third down. They need about 1. They give it to Broussard. He cracks his way at right tackle. Very close. Channing Crowder, the middle linebacker, is the man who led the way. And I'll tell you, I say very close from where the lines person has come in there. He didn't make it. Not even close.
LSU has to run the football in this game to have a chance to win.
I know that Nick Saban would love to be able to go for this, but he's not in a position on the road, down 7-0. He can't hand them 14 points. Chris Jackson comes in to punt. Vernell Brown, who was a substitute defensive back, is the deep man. First punt of the night by the LSU Tigers. Good high-hanging coverage kick. Brown signals for a fair catch. Boots it, muffs the ball, and then makes the recovery at the 22-yard line. Deep groans from the crowd here as they almost turned it right back to LSU. 40 yards in the kick, -2 on the return. We'll be right back. We are back to the home of the Florida Gators, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Filled absolutely to capacity tonight. Marcus Spears, we visited with him on the telephone this past Wednesday. Now, you talk about leadership, and LSU does not have a great number of seniors on either side of the football. On Tuesday, Marcus Spears and a couple of other guys literally called a team meeting after practice was over just to talk about the gremlins, the things that they were battling. And obviously, the meeting went well. That pass is behind the intended receiver.
Pass intended.
Facing the intended receiver there, couldn't hold on to the football. But Mike, you remember as a head coach yourself, you have to have that sort of things happen, because when players step in and say, hey, it can't always be the coaches. The players have got to stand up and come together themselves. Well,
you need leaders on the field.
Faison hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. And Mike, an opportunity now to take a look at your game plans for tonight.
All right, Chris Leak's arm. He's going to take you to the promised land. Beat the blitz of LSU. Don't turn the ball over. Gang up, stop the run on defense. They've done that. Force LSU's quarterbacks to make mistakes. That's a +1 already in the game.
Billy Latchko comes in at fullback, number 42. Lake on third down. They need to take it out to the 32.5-yard line. Pressure coming up the middle. He's going to go on top. That single coverage, and he's got it to Caldwell. Andre Caldwell, the sophomore out of Tampa Jefferson High School, 35 yards.
This is what David Green from Georgia did to LSU last week. 5 long passes. When you're in this kind of situation, bump and run, you got Andre Caldwell on a fade. He fakes him out, then he gets back outside. Ronnie Pruitt's on his hip, out of position. Caldwell makes the catch.
Pick-out pass, that goes to Caldwell behind some blockers, and he'll take it down in the vicinity of the 35-yard line. Good look at Corey Webster right there. And Mike, it's not surprising, since Pruitt is not the regular, that Florida will go to work on him first tonight.
I think they're going to work on both these corners. When you get up and bump and run man, they're going to try Travis Daniels and Ronnie Pruitt. And if Corey Webster was in the game, they'd try him too.
This time Leak moves out of shotgun and moves up under center. And movement by a couple of offensive linemen, and that's going to cost them 5 yards. So the good work on playing in front of the chains with a 2nd down and 3. Now it's going to be 2nd down at about 8.
I think it was 72.
Dead
Lance
ball.
Butler.
False start. Number 61 and number 72. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Both guards. A little jumpy because LSU's moving around all the time on defense.
LSU now with 6 defensive backs on the field. Good look from Sky Cam behind Chris Leak. Short drop, far sideline. He's got a man wide open, and he overthrows him low. Dallas Baker, the junior out of New Smyrna Beach, was alone going up the far sideline, and he overthrew him.
Well, the good thing about that, Travis Daniels forced him out of bounds, pushed him out. Again, LSU is going to challenge your receivers. They're going to play man for man.
Leak with a 3rd down. They need to take it to the 32-yard line. Here comes pressure. Marcus Spears off the edge, running for his life, and in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, O.J. Small. And now it's going to be 4th down.
Marcus Spears, he talked about to his team, raise your level. He's raising his level. Chases Chris Leak out of the pocket.
Then the other defensive end, Melvin Oliver, came in, and he applied pressure. And that penalty just a moment ago possibly forced them out of field goal range, so they're going to have to punt it away. Eric Wilbur, his first kick tonight, 56 yards, a season high for him. Skylar Green is the deep man. Very, very high, wobbly kick. And Green lets it go over his head. Did he hold on? Yes, they say he downed it at the 1-foot line.
Big mistake by Skylar Green.
Chad Jackson is the man who got down there and got possession of the football.
Have to catch that ball. Can't let it bounce. And DeMarcus Russell's had bad field position last few drives.
Well, it's horrible field position right now.
Every offensive coordinator in the country likes to throw the long pass here on 1st down.
Thing you have to be careful of here, an offensive holding is a safety if you are going to throw the ball. But they'll go straight ahead with DeMarcus Russell on a quarterback sneak. and he takes it out to the 2. How about the LSU Tigers and their game plan, Mike?
You got to establish the run early, and they haven't done that yet. More big plays from the quarterback position. Now, Jamarcus Russell started off all okay. Interception. Pressure, Chris Leak. They've done that. Man-to-man corners have to not get beaten deep. They got beat all day last week against Georgia. Can't get beat tonight.
Nick Saban pacing the sideline. An interception by Russell. Returned 20 yards. Cost him a touchdown. Gonna have to hurry, and he just throws that one away. Boy, he ran a long way. Morant is the man who was coming from behind with the pressure.
I go back again, Ron, to what I said, offensive strategy. You better run the football and protect Jamarcus Russell. Now, I know you're in a bad situation right here, but if you can't run the ball, this is going to be a long night.
Third down for the Tigers. They're going to take it out to the 10.5-yard line to hold on to the football. Ben Wilkerson over the football. Pressure, gets that pass away, and it's intercepted at the 10-yard line by Jarvis Herring. Why would you throw that ball? Throw it away.
Go back to Skylar Greeno. You fair catch the ball on the 10-yard line. Put yourself in a hole on the 1-yard line. Jamarcus Russell makes a second mistake of this football game.
Mikey threw that one off his back foot. Watch it. See, he's falling backwards when he throws the ball.
Tough situation to put a redshirt freshman quarterback in 3rd and long.
Florida quickly to the line of scrimmage, and they go with the straight-ahead handoff, reach and a fake, and they score. Tate Casey, the tight end. Well, he got me, and I apologize, but he got the defense as well.
He did a good job because they rushed up to the line of scrimmage. Tate Casey wide open. LSU lost their poise on defense.
Leach tries to make it 14-0 for the Florida Gators. And he got it just barely as it was streaking through on the left side. So a good fake straight ahead by Deshaun Wynn into the line of scrimmage. Glued everybody, and Casey gets the touchdown pass. We'll be right back. Ninth play of the drive. This thing started back at the 20-yard line. LSU also aided by that roughing the passer penalty, picking up 15 yards there as you look into the eyes of Channing Crowder, the preseason all-conference middle linebacker. Quite a motor on this young man. And boy, he plays hard. 6'3", 245, a sophomore out of Atlanta, North Springs.
Nice quarterback draw formation here.
LSU 1 of 5 on 3rd down conversions. Shovel pass back inside, and this is Skylar Green, 25-20, and pushed out of bounds. And Mike, you're right. He's still, there's a little hitch in his stride.
He really does. He's bothered by that. This was, I was talking about a quarterback draw. It's a nice formation to shovel draw. You had got the numbers because Florida was playing pass on 3rd down.
So the Tigers move the chains. The ball just inside the 18-yard line. Saban paces across the way. Tyrone Carey back into the ball game at tailback. And they'll pitch it to him. Blocked by Hester, the fullback, and he turns it inside the 15 around the 13-yard line. Tonight's game track is brought to you by Pioneer. 2 interceptions in his first career start. Jamarcus Russell cost him a touchdown as Payson takes it in for 1. And Randall takes over following the injury to Jamarcus Russell to his ankle. 11th play of the drive coming up. They're going to take it down to the 8-yard line. Flags are down, and you could see movement on the right side of the offensive line.
Dead ball, false start. Number 89 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Keith Zinger's the man who moved. Wow. Back to our action. Randall, pass over the middle, got it, complete. That's tight end Keith Zinger. And Zinger, he's the man that was in motion just a moment ago, and he'll take it down for enough for the first down. It's a gain of 14 yards.
Good pass pattern, because against zone coverage, you see the crossing routes. Keith Zinger comes behind the linebackers, one wide receiver in front of the linebackers. Good throw by Marcus Randall.
So it's first and goal for Tigers. Carey again operates a tailback. They pitch it to him. Tries to turn the corner on the right. Does he have the speed? Nope, that is a great job, and look who got him. A middle linebacker by the name of Crowder, who weighs 245, and the tailback couldn't turn the corner on him.
No, Channing Crowder burst to the sideline. Great speed. You see him either up, running back up, and good angle to get Carey.
That is impressive.
Ran into Scott Brantley, the All-American linebacker from Florida. He's wearing, Channing Crowder's wearing his number, which was retired here at Florida.
I'll tell you what, and he's wearing out
He's
other
proud, too.
running backs from other teams in this conference. Second down and goal. Carey right side takes it down close to the 1-yard line, and it's going to be third.
One thing down here is a back, you can't cut down here. You got to let it, turn it loose. Tyrone Carey trying to cut. Try to take him out and bring a bigger back in.
I think it's Ali Broussard who they'll bring into the lineup.
233.
Yep. Ali 6 feet, 233, sophomore out of Lafayette. 14th play of this drive. Stelz in motion. Broussard left side. Touchdown LSU.
Good drive by Nick Saban. Brother Marcus Randall coming off the bench. A senior comes off the bench, gets his chance, takes his team right down the field, scores. Lines up, concerned about that drive. Of course, the penalty. Big play.
Ryan Godet with the extra point, and he knocks it home. And with 12 minutes and 30 seconds left until halftime, the LSU Tigers fight right back. And it is a 14-7 ball game. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
If you're
So it's 14-7, Florida on top, inside of 5 minutes left to play, and what has been a fairly rapidly moving first half.
Ron, this would be a great time for play action here. You got the blocking tight end in, you got two tight ends, slip the fullback in the flat.
Let's see if they might take up you on your suggestion here, Michael. We need to take the ball to the 47-yard line for the first down. Basin, head down, he'll have the first down, plus a couple of yards as they play it close to the vest. Lionel Turner and Jesse Daniels combining on the stop.
Good call, Billy Latsko, the fullback, number 42, going to go in motion, gives the extra man over there in the block, and Basin gets the first down.
Facing at 215, but boy, he looks larger than that. 225 or maybe even 230.
They got one-on-one up here.
This could be a double pass. Pressure is on. Now he gets it away. It's tipped in the air, and here comes a flag. Andre Caldwell took the ball coming around, and it was a backward pass, so obviously he was able to throw the football one more time.
Pass interference. Number 8 on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Larry Fedora, the offensive coordinator, given a lot of formations. Dallas Baker is Ronnie Prude's going to be called. Ran through Dallas Baker. Again, Corey Webster not playing tonight. Ronnie Prude's played well in the first half.
Good look at Webster right there, and you know that he is just going over himself with emotion, wishing he could be out there and play. But a hyperextended knee is keeping him out of action. Pitchback goes to Faison, turns it back upfield, runs into his own man, actually. The blocking tight end and Lionel Turner then was able to put the stop on Faison.
Lionel Turner's a good linebacker. Scrapes down the line of scrimmage. He's 260. He's a load. You got to really make sure you get a guard or tackle on him to block him.
Clock runs 3 minutes and 40 seconds left until halftime. It's 2nd down and 9. Blake steps into the pocket, going to go long near sideline, can't hold on at the 1-yard line. Dallas Baker covered by Travis Daniels.
Ron, here's what happened now. LSU been playing a lot of man coverage. Watch the zone now. They go back into zone coverage. So they bait Chris Leak into throwing the takeoff. Pretty good job by Travis Daniels.
Tell you, Dallas Baker shows what kind of athlete he is. He almost took the football away from him.
Still one-on-one for Travis Daniels.
3rd down. They need the 26-yard line. You can see LSU's showing blitz, and here they come with it. Nope, now Landry stays at home. Quick out pass, and made the catch and missed the tackle. It's Jackson. Chad Jackson will have the first down, and he'll take it to the 21-yard line, and the gamble turned into a burn. 14 yards in the play.
Picking on Ronnie Prude, number 8, Chad Jackson. Ronnie Prude went for the interception, trying to knock the ball down. Loses Chad Jackson for the first down.
Faison, left side. This is not going to be very much as LSU with a nice job defensively pushing the play back. LaRon Landry was the first man to get there, and then a lot of help from Wilton and also Glenn Dorsey.
Ronnie Prude started in this game last year at LSU. Very capable defensive back. Plays on the nickels when they bring in 5 defensive backs.
Corey, you see the numbers on him. 7 interceptions last year to lead the SEC. Draw play. Faison right up the middle. And they're going to stop him after a short gain. Lionel Turner and Glenn Dorsey again. And you know somebody's name we haven't called tonight, and he has been playing extremely well, is Kyle Williams, number 95, because he's the guy that came in replacing Lavallee. And the coaches were talking about just kind of silently, he was really coming on strong, but he has not been able to get to anybody tonight.
Florida's coaches actually said he plays like David Pollock for Georgia. He plays that hard. His motor's always running.
3rd down. Need to take it to the 12.5-yard line for the first down. Leak, good protection from the offensive line. Got a man there. Touchdown, Florida. O.J. Small. Mike Chevis Jackson trying to cover on the play, but couldn't do it.
Yeah, Ron Sutton made a good call here. He lined up O.J. Small in the backfield. Got him on Chevis Jackson in motion. Very good call by Florida.
LSU, that's their 2nd timeout of the half.
Sneak your receiver in the tailback. O.J. Small is right here. He's going to go in motion. but it's going to put a inside safety on him. Makes that corner catch. With Chevis Jackson not close to O.J. Small.
Nicely thrown ball by Chris Leak. Led him perfectly, and the reaction by Nick Saban, because literally that is the first decent try that Florida's had tonight, but they're now in front 21-7.
Big series for Florida's offense. Offensive line, Joe Wickline, the coach, the offensive line, they took over that series.
So 9 plays, 63 yards, 4 minutes and 11 seconds off the clock. At Small with the 18-yard touchdown catch. Right down the middle with the extra point. Petro prepares to kick it off. You look at Joseph Adai, number 10, and Xavier Carter, number 23, the two deep safeties for the LSU Tigers.
LSU with one timeout left in the half.
1:39 left on the clock. Part of this very raucous crowd here at Ben Hill Griffith Stadium. And this is going to be 5 yards deep. And Carter says, nope, he's not going to return it. First and 10 to the 20. Joseph Adai operates a tailback on this trip. And they'll give it to him. They pull the guard. Has 5, 6, and 7 out close to 9 yards in the play. Earl Everett, the sophomore out of Webster, Florida, there to corral him.
First down, you always look for a draw or screen to try to pick up some yardage. Then you go into your 2-minute offense.
Marcus Randall sets deep in the pocket. Pressure, gets his pass complete. Right over the middle. Good for the first down to Joseph Adai as they got him out of the backfield. Ray McDonald with some good pressure that time. He was right in his face.
Joseph Adai is the best receiver in this and the offensive backfield. He has 3 catches this year, caught 16 passes last year.
Randall 7 of 11, 67 yards. Gets the pass to Adai. He gets whacked immediately by Channing Crowder.
Makes the tackle.
Channing Crowder, the middle linebacker, one of the best in the country. Good tackle.
That kind of strength and speed, like he is really a sure tackler. Deep pass over the middle, got this one complete. Spinning around is Davis, and he's going to take it to the 40-yard line, and still there's 32 seconds showing on that clock. Good for 22 yards.
Good throw by Marcus Randall.
Clock starts on the ready. You see it at 30, and then they will spike it to stop the clock. 28 seconds now on the clock.
If you're Nick Saban, you want to get some points here, a field goal, even a field goal to go in at halftime and tell your ball club, hey, we've made so many mistakes, we're still alive in this game.
Jamarcus Russell, he started tonight through a couple of interceptions, then injured his ankle, and it's been Marcus Randall the rest of the way for the Bengal Tigers.
Florida's taking a timeout, I believe.
Well, LSU in the ESPN USA Today poll, preseason 3rd, September the 5th, they were 4th. Then after the 19th, they fell to 13th. And then on October the 3rd, the number 24 position.
Well, this goes to show you that's on last year. And when you have a unsettled quarterback position, you got you lost some defensive starters. Everybody thought LSU was just going to regroup. Matt Mock was a pretty good player last year. Michael Clayton, a leader. And Nick Saban talked about that to us this week. He said, we lost a lot of leaders. We got a young football team.
In fact, you start adding them up, and you look on both the offensive and defensive side of the football, and there are not a lot of names there that have the capital SR on it. Aaron Andrews is checking the sideline with you.
Well, Ron, you and Mike have been talking all night about Marcus Spears. Nick Saban asking him to step up. You actually asked him on the conference call, do you regret coming back? He had the opportunity to go to the NFL last year. He said, no, I don't. This has given me a great learning experience to try to help guide this young team. Guys?
Okay, he's quite a young man. Flags are down, and now they're going to wind up with movement. It looks like Nate Livings came out of his stance, number 71.
Dead ball. Ball start. Number 71 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Talk about LSU being young. Florida's got 3 seniors on offense, 2 on defense. Will Muschamp before the game told me the LSU defensive coordinator said they're building a solid program with the recruits they have at Florida. Very young team.
Randall, middle screen, got it complete. And Bo close to the first down as he is tackled at the 31-yard line. 19, now 18 seconds on the clock. Seiler making the tackle, and they'll take their last timeout.
That's their final timeout.
What Nick Saban saying, hey, we call timeout a little quicker than that.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Number 57 on the defense.
Wow.
That'll be a 15-yard penalty. First down.
Jeremy Mincy. Let's see if we can pick it up in the middle of the screen right here. 57. Mincy. Just Roddy Kid.
This Wanger, you can see him jump up and just kick him in the ribs. Now, put an asterisk by that play, because all of a sudden, now they're at the 15.5-yard line. They don't have any timeouts left, but they got at least a couple of really good shots at the end zone.
I think when Nick Saban is arguing that he didn't want to take the timeout, if they would have called, stopped the clock, taken the penalty, he'd have killed the clock. He is arguing to get that timeout back. That's what he wants back. He's going to need that timeout.
Why don't you go like this when it's a first down?
He's saying to the official, show me that there's a penalty. I agree with you.
I do too. I mean, certainly he wouldn't have burned the timeout had he known that there was a flag on the play and that it was Florida who had committed the penalty. Well, I'll tell you what, it's heating up on the LSU sideline, but the SEC as a whole is heating up. How about Tennessee? I never thought I would see people from Florida cheering for Georgia, but boy, they were as they came down the stretch, because with Tennessee having defeated Florida in a head-to-head competition, although the records are the same, Mike, they still have a game in hand, so to speak. Huh?
They're in good shape right now. Philip Fulmer and his staff regrouped after that loss last week to Auburn. Good coaching job.
So 18 seconds on the clock. LSU with no more timeouts, but they have the ball at the 15.5-yard line. Goes for the end zone. Got a man there. Touchdown. Early Doucette. The 15-yard strike. And boy, the penalty against Mincy really jumps out at you now.
Yeah, Nick Saban forgot about the timeout now because Doucette open, but Marcus Randall shows a big-time arm. Little window to get that ball in. Marcus Randall got it in.
Ryan Godet to try to make it a one-touchdown game. And he does. Knocks it home. And with 12 seconds on the clock, 12 seconds until halftime, brand new ball game here, 21-14 the Gators.
Good route. You're going to see the post right there. The throw by Marcus Randall. Here's the post. Set him up. Small window, like I said, to throw that ball through. Marcus Randall fits it in there. And Ron, I can't tell you this. I've been on that sideline when you get a score just before halftime and you say, hey, we've made every mistake in the book here in the first half. We're only down 7.
As you look right there at Jeremy Mincy, and an undisciplined play by him by kicking one of the linemen with a 15-yard penalty, aided LSU, and they wound up with the touchdown. High kick, and the tackle will be made at the 16 by Andre Caldwell.
2 penalties by Florida kept drives alive. Ray McDonald and Mincy.
So we got 9 seconds left. And I would be surprised if Florida tried to do anything but maybe even take a knee or run it into the line of scrimmage and then head into the locker room.
You take a knee here in your first half. Ron Zook's got to regroup his football team because they've made some very bad, stupid plays out here in penalties.
And they'll get the ball to start the second half since they won the toss and deferred. And that's exactly what they'll do. We'll take a knee, and we are at halftime. 4 seconds down to 3. And the Florida Gators leading, but they're not leading in momentum right now. And let's go to the sideline. Aaron Andrews with Coach Zook.
Well, Coach, Marcus Randall comes in and gives LSU quite a boost. What kind of adjustments do you need to make?
Oh, we just got to play. I mean, we got to get in that situation. We're going to be in that situation. There's no question we'll be in that situation during the game. Our guys got to play. I mean, it's just we can't freeze up. We can't be afraid to come after them and do the things that we do. We can't, we get in those situations, we got to be able to play them.
You said one area you need to address is consistency on the offense. What do you tell them in the locker room?
Well, I think we're starting to go there a little bit, and I think the thing we talked about is a good defense, and they play well. And the only thing we said is that we got to be patient. Don't go panic and just be patient. And we're starting to run the ball a little bit now, and just kind of keep plugging away.
Coach, thanks. Guys, back to you.
Okay, Aaron, thanks very much. Our score at halftime: Florida 21, LSU 14. So we are back 21-14. Florida leads it as we prepare to open up the third quarter of play. And Mike, at halftime, virtually everybody I talked to talked about silly mistakes and silly penalties by both teams in the first half.
Well, you talked about the youth of LSU and Florida. When you have young teams, you're up and down. So a lot of that has happened in the first half. Marcus Randall's been the difference. So he came on the scene, and he has lit up this LSU football team.
Well, the Gators get an opportunity to go on offense first. They won the toss to start the game. They deferred, and from the goal line, that's Chad Jackson. Jackson out across the 25 to the 27. So the Gators will take over with very nice field position and the first half stats.
Yeah, penalties are points off turnovers, 14 for Florida. That's the difference. Total yards, you can see LSU kind of controlled the first half in time and yardage, but the turnovers.
Boy, time of possession. Gators did not have it a whole bunch, but they were very thrifty with the football, getting some breaks that they created themselves on turnovers. Faison gets the pitch. Blockers in front, and he'll turn the corner. Going to have 5. Puts his head down and butts his way to almost the 35-yard line before Jesse Daniels makes the stop. Well, tonight's game track brought to you by Pioneer. Marcus Randall throwing to his tight end. 14 points off 2 takeaways, though. First collegiate catch for him, Tate Casey, and it goes for a touchdown. But late in the second half, aided by a personal foul, and LSU made this a 1-touchdown ball game. Casey again, you can see they pulled the tackle. The blocker in front going to have the first down, and they'll pick up another 5 yards. Jonathan Colden, who was a huge one at 6'7", 315, did a nice job of getting out in front of the play.
Ron, what Florida's doing is shifting. They're moving their formation from the right side to the left side. before the snap of the ball. Georgia and Auburn did this successfully against LSU's defense. You see how many people moved, and the linebackers kind of got caught up and lost.
Chris Leak with an audible here. Faison sends him to the left side. Nothing there. He'll bounce it back the other direction. And some nifty moves. He'll take it to the 48-yard line. Chevis Jackson finally makes the stop.
I like what Ron Zook said about Faison because he came here on a Saturday night on his recruiting visit. They put the fight song on here in the stadium. Everything was empty, and he started crying. So Ron Zook knew he had him.
You know, it was interesting, though. A lot of people don't realize Faison almost quit this football team. He came to the office and said, and looked Ron Zook in the eye and said, I'm going to quit. And Ron said, only one of us is going to walk out of the room if you keep that frame of mind. And he talked him out of it and got him to stay here. Pass over the middle, wide open is Baker, and Baker will take it close to the 35-yard line. LaRon Landry on the stop, along with Jesse Daniels.
You talked about Ron Zook. He said, I was leaving there. He was not going to allow Faison to quit this football team. And now, every now and then, he says to him, he said, aren't you glad you stayed?
And the head coach is glad he stayed as well. But the interesting thing, he told him, he said, you're too good a young man. You come too far and work too hard. You got to stick it out. You got to stay here with us. Let's go to fullback. They send him in motion, facing straight ahead, and he bangs his way inside the 35. I'll tell you, his average per try, even between the tackles, has got to be close to 6 or 7 yards tonight. Randy Ann with a good block on that play.
And see, I like what Florida's doing. Larry Fedora, he's setting a tempo here in the third quarter. He turned it over his offensive line and Faison.
A lot of movement again as far as Florida is concerned. Faison now 13 carries, 52 yards. Tough one right there is that defense came up, led by Kenneth Hollis, making the tackle. Also, you can see 58, Lionel Turner. And I'll tell you what, when Lionel lines up on you, you got a load for a linebacker. You talk about it, he's 260 at least.
He's a big linebacker, and he hits you. Florida's going to unbalanced line on LSU.
LSU, once again, 6 defensive backs in the ball game. Playing without their All-American corner, Corey Webster, tonight because of a hyperextended knee. Sets deep, right over the middle, beautiful throw, and a great defensive play by Chevis Jackson, the freshman out of Mobile, Alabama. Planed out and knocked it down.
That's the play I drew wrong in the first half. O.J. Small lines up in the backfield. He got Chevis Jackson the first time. He's already moved out here. Now he's motioned out here. Now, instead of running a corner, he's going to run a post on Chevis Jackson. He's up for the challenge.
Yeah, that's a nice defensive play right there. Eric Wilbur prepares to punt it away for the Florida Gators. Twice in the first half, he put the ball dead at the 1-yard line, and the other time inside the 1-yard line. And the guy to keep an eye on the special teams, both of those punts were touched down by Chad Jackson, number 8.
But they should have been fair caught.
Dead ball, delay of game on the offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Nick Saban, I was watching him on the sideline. He said, turn it down.
Oh, boy. Communication has been a little difficult for him at times tonight. Here's the boot. Knuckleball. And it's going to come out of bounds. It is short, but still it is at the 21-yard line. That punt was only 19 yards.
Mistakes, mistakes, mistakes.
Marcus Randall gives it to Broussard. Ali Broussard running hard at left tackle, maybe 4 yards in the play. Brandon Seiler makes the stop.
Ali Broussard talked to us this week. He said, I'm gaining confidence and the game's slower to him. What that means is everything, he sees everything slow motion right now, so he sees the cuts.
You see a couple of blockers in front. Broussard puts a head down, running hard, close to the first down. Earl Everett will make the stop close to the yellow line or the first down marker, but he didn't quite get there.
I like what both offensive coordinators are doing. Jimbo Fisher and Larry Fedora of Florida, Jimbo from LSU. They came out with a purpose to turn the ball game around and run the football.
So LSU brings in a second tight end with the third down and less than a yard. Broussard, 7 carries, 22 yards tonight. And they'll give it to him on the left side. He'll have the first down plus about 5 more. Thought it was interesting in talking with Broussard the other day also, when I asked him if he was aware of the story about Coach Saban's sister. When she greeted Coach Saban at her door, the first thing she said was not hello, was, why aren't you playing Ali Broussard more? And he said, yes, sir, I did read the story, and I appreciate everybody's help.
Appreciated his sister.
Sharon Perry comes in, number 2 at tailback. Looking, man clears wide open at the 45-yard line is Early Doucette, who caught the touchdown pass just before halftime. It's good for 19 yards.
Ron, when you run the football successfully, then the play action, you don't get a pass rush. Watch this now. Now you help your offensive lineman. Marcus Randall keeps waiting for Early Doucette to come open. He came all the way across the field. That's what the running game does for you.
Nice job by that offensive line, giving your quarterback protection and time to sit there and to throw it. Blitz off the corner. He's going to run it. 45, 40, 35, and he's down with the first down all the way to the 31-yard line. Earl Everett with the stop, and it's good for 13 yards.
And that's the other thing that'll hurt a pass rush when a quarterback takes off. Marcus Randall sets up here to throw. You see the protection. You see what he sees. He sees a crease in the middle of the defense and knows he can pick up a first down. This guy is hot, Ron.
Terry goes to the sideline. Ali Broussard checks back in at tailback. And he'll get the handoff on the little counter tray. Runs it up inside and about 3 tough yards right there. Ray McDonald, one of the first men to get there. And Aaron Andrews, let's check back with you on the sideline.
Well, Ron, in talking with Ali Broussard, he said a lot of his success has to do with his weight loss. Last year, Justin Vincent, his teammate, nicknamed him Queen Mary because he said he was overweight. He couldn't make those sudden cuts on the field. This year, they call him the diesel truck because he slimmed down from 250 pounds to 233, guys.
Yeah, he did. He said the 17, 18 pounds had really helped him. Second down. Randall deep in the pocket. Here comes pressure now. Runs out of harm's way. And finally is going to be forced out of bounds at the 30-yard line. We have an injured player down on the field. It would appear it's Ray McDonald, number 95, the sophomore out of Belle Glade, Florida.
We talked about here in the press box, when you're a young football team, you don't have a lot of seniors. Ron Zook does not have a lot of seniors on the field. Last week against Arkansas, I remember you calling me and they were up 31-7 or whatever. I turned off the TV. I came back and they were 8 points ahead. Arkansas is going in to score the time. And that's what you get with a young football team. Both Ron Zook and Nick Saban have the same type of football teams, up and down because of youth.
Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Aaron Andrews coming to you from the Swamp. Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville, Florida. Number 24, the LSU Tigers taking on the 12th-ranked Florida Gators. Third down. Middle screen. He dropped the football. Dwayne Bowe coming back across the middle. Couldn't hold on to it.
Thrown low by Marcus Randall. I think Marcus is saying I made a mistake there. Ball's a little low. Just watch it. Marcus Randall sets up the screen, jumps up. Still should have been caught.
So it means Chris Jackson is going to try a distance field goal, 47 yards from the near hash mark. Matt Finn is the holder. Good pass, plenty of distance on the kick, and he got it. 47 yards. That equals his best against Arkansas in 2003. Let's take a break. One more look at the kick and watch number 27. We're going to have to amend it. It's going to be Travis Harris. You see that ball was kicked right into his shoulder pad. So Travis Harris will get credit for the block, not D. Webb. D came off the corner, and we thought that he was the one that had gotten a piece of it. But it's Travis Harris with the good play. And again, special teams by Florida tonight.
They won the special teams battle.
Out in the flat, got it complete to Latsko, the fullback, and he will be forced out of bounds. Tonight's key stat brought to you by Burger King, having their way.
Special teams, 2 punts inside the 2-yard line. Should have had a third. 1 block field goal.
Ron Zook pacing on the sideline. It just seems like nothing's come easy for this Florida team this year.
Because the youth of this team, nothing.
Now this is Faison taking it straight ahead. Faison straight ahead, fighting, got the first down. Just kept running by people and then used his muscle. It's a gain of 13 on the play. Landry and Jesse Daniels combining on the stop.
Good blocking by the offensive line. See Mo Mitchell pulling, making a good block, number 61. When he pulls, he's 6'7", 370.
In fact, they have asked him not to participate in the dog piles down at the goal line because Mo weighs 370, and they said the wide receivers were complaining.
They didn't want to see him coming. They were happy about the score, but they didn't want to see him coming.
Yeah, Mo is 6'7", 370, as you said, out of Albany, Georgia. And Coach Zook told us, he said that's one of the things that they had to go to him and say, look, celebrations are wonderful. We like the team atmosphere that's being created, but stop jumping in on top of the dog piles. You're hurting people.
Receivers had a meeting.
Second down and 9. You can see the secondary creep up. Late goes way down the field, and it is almost picked off.
Both quarterbacks, all the quarterbacks tonight have thrown some footballs they'd like to have back.
I thought for a moment there, Mike, that he really was trying to throw that one away.
Throw it off his back foot. Didn't get anything on it.
LaRon Landry had the cover on it. Well, LaRon Landry, for a big physical hitter, he is really gifted athletically.
One of the best defensive backs in the country.
Lake is now 13 of 27, 122, and 2 touchdowns. LSU shows blitz, then they come off of it. Lake, all the time in the world. Ball is tipped. Did he catch it? Yes. O.J. Small. Nope. They say he trapped it on the ground. Beg your pardon.
Marcus Spears tipped that football. You talk about a big game tonight. Marcus Spears, 6'4", number 84, is going to tip this football.
People forget he was a McDonald's All-American basketball player in high school. Talk about athleticism, and look at the size of that fella.
298. When you're 298, you're really 300, right?
I guarantee you he can dunk it with the third. 7th punt. This is a season high for Florida, and it's the best kick of the night. High hanger, going to hit it, go 2-yard line and go into the end zone. Take a timeout. 56 yards in the punt. Gators still on top by 4. The final 8 minutes and 41 seconds about to unfold. Can Florida hold on? They lead it by 4. And LSU with the football, and the head coach was standing with the offense for that entire timeout with a pretty stern lecture. Randall. Too high and incomplete. Looking for Dwayne Bowe. I tell you, he had moved Joseph Adai out of the backfield, and somebody blew a coverage because nobody went with him.
Joseph Adai is a very good receiver. This could have been picked off the tip drill.
Yeah.
Wayne Bowe too high for him. Corey Bailey sitting back there, but a little bit deep.
You can see number 10, Adai, just running along unattended. Ali Broussard comes in at tailback now. Marcus Randall, the senior out of Baton Rouge, and he's going to keep it. Puts it on his hip, running hard, and he's got a first down for the LSU Tigers. Corey Bailey finally stopping.
Everybody's probably sitting at home in Baton Rouge, and you're saying, what got into Marcus Randall? Confidence. He started this football game. Things went well for him. He's confident. This football team's confident in him. His play here, he fakes. He's run tough all night.
Jerome Carey, number 2, replaces Ali Broussard at tailback. They continue to run those tailbacks in and out of there. And they'll pitch it to him on the sweep. Little head fake, and he'll wind up to the 40 of the 35-yard line. And second down, Skylar Green has the first down and about 10 yards more. And a hit made by Corey Bailey, and Corey might have been fortunate he didn't draw a flag. He was right at the boundary when the contact was made. It's good for 16 yards.
I keep talking about Marcus Randall playing with so much confidence. You see Skylar Green go off with that injured ankle again. That his mom, Marcus Randall's mom, told him good things come to those who wait. Tonight, he's waited for this night for a long time.
But his brother, I thought it was very, very admirable the fact that his brother stayed in town and played at Southern University so that he could be close to a mentor, father figure to Marcus as he was growing up. That's going to be the shortest gain of the drive so far, as you'll be stopped at the 46, Travis Harris.
Talk about in this, seems like in the fourth quarter, Florida's been on defense the whole quarter. Since the third quarter.
Well, the imbalance now in time of possession is 10 minutes. 31 minutes to 21 minutes. But Florida, once they got inside the 20-yard line in the red zone, I'll tell you, they stiffened and just closed the door. They set up the screen. That's a dive. What a nice defensive play. And he breaks out of the tackle. And look at this second effort. Boy, a dive gets away from Jarvis Herring, and it looked for the world he was going to be stopped for a loss. Watch the play right here.
Ron, you have to wrap up a good back. Joseph Adai gets hit here. Spins out. Gets close to that first down.
It'll be third down, and they need about a yard as a guy goes to the bench, gets a breather.
They bring in the big back, Ali Broussard.
2 tight ends. Broussard hit by the ankles. I don't know. It's very close. Penny Parker is the man who got him, but you see the line judge right there, and then look at that yellow line, and you'd have to predict that if he didn't get it, he's just darn close.
I think he has it.
Yeah, I do too.
Second effort, or the spot. I lost Broussard when he went into the pile. Here's the yellow line. See if you think Broussard looks like he stopped there. Continues on, and maybe a whistle. I'm figuring a whistle didn't blow, and the second effort he made it.
They're going to bring in the chains.
It almost looked like they stopped because they had it. Ali Broussard stopped.
When you stretch it out, there you got it. He's got the first down. Up next at Sports Center, Steve Levy and Scott Van Pelt. Shocker in Atlanta. Big scare for the Trojans. Yankees-Sox rematch. Shocker in Athens. I beg your pardon. Same
Shocker
state.
in Atlanta, too.
Well,
Houston beat them.
Same state. So it's first down for the LSU Tigers. Clock is running. 5.5 minutes left. This is a die. Spins off one tackler. Takes it inside the 35 to the 34. Morant will make the tackle for Florida.
Well, back to the first half, the two mistakes Florida made penalties that kept drives going for LSU to score touchdowns. Mistakes you can't make. Youthful mistakes, but somewhere along the line you can't make those mistakes and win football games.
8 plays, 46 yards in this drive so far. They have consumed 3 minutes and 34 seconds.
Substitution infraction on the offense. Broke the huddle with 12 players. The player was leaving, but he did not get 10 yards away from the huddle. By rule, that is a substitution violation.
That's a big penalty. Now, when you're moving all those groups in on offense, all the formations, that sometimes happens. Somebody forgets to come out.
That's the first penalty against LSU this half. But as you point out, particularly if they don't get the first down, it's a huge one. Pass caught and hit immediately is Dwayne Bowe. Ronaldo Hill was there to put the stop on him.
Boy, good play by Hill. Read the screen from the get-go.
So now, Mike, it is third down. And a long 10, short 11 as far as LSU is concerned. 10th play of the drive coming up. Wings the pass, incomplete. Bo couldn't hold on.
Now you have a decision for Nick Saban. You got to punt the football because you got still have 3 timeouts left. That's what he's talking about over there.
You're right. You can see him hold up the 3 fingers.
3 timeouts, punt him in the hole, stop him, you get the ball back. Ronaldo Hill's been Johnny on the spot. Johnny spot.
Chris Jackson to kick it away. And he sends this one very high. Not going to turn over, but they're right there to down it at the 3-yard line. And it's Ronnie Prude who downed it. 36 yards in the kick. Florida will take over with bad field position. Take a break. So we are back. 3 minutes 49 seconds showing on the clock. LSU with 3 timeouts. And they got to stop the Florida Gators right here if they want to get the football back. The clock now is going to really start to run downhill. If you're Florida, first thing you got to do is you got to value the football and make sure you don't do something silly and give a cheap one to the LSU Tigers. Link. Hit. Almost caught in the end zone. Marcus Spears was right there on O.J. Small.
Ron, the screen, O.J. Small, very fortunate not to get called for a safety here. He just gets out inside the 1-yard line. LSU, Spears right there.
Marcus Spears, the senior out of Baton Rouge, having himself a good ball game tonight and moving him around a lot more. So He doesn't get as many double teams and running back chipping on him. But he really can wreak havoc when he gets a little bit of a pass. Running play, hit behind the line of scrimmage, facing, and now is going to be corralled, and here comes the flag. That is a face mask. You're right. Now the big thing here is it a 5-yard or is it the personal foul? The big one. Kenneth Hollis, I believe, is the man who made the tackle.
I think it's going to be the big one.
Incidental face mask. Number 31 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Jesse Daniels, the small one, the 5-yard one. 31, Jesse Daniels going to come into the picture. Very fortunate not to get to safety there. Number 56.
Yeah, actually it is.
Yeah,
It was
Hollis.
Yeah. And you could see Faison trying to help the official, saying he grabbed me with the face mask. Still second down and 6. Setting deep in the end zone. The pass.
They're right in front of the LSU bench. Dallas Baker with a great effort to try to drag his feet.
Now the thing right here again
Stops the clock. Yeah,
so
but you still they had the pass play open, just didn't complete it.
Mike, it's third down. They need to take it to the 13-yard line. If it is a play where the clock would continue to run, do they use that first timeout?
Yes. O.J. Small's in the backfield right here. And they come in motion. Working him against the safety.
4 to 5 of 12 on third down conversions. Late steps up into the pocket, gonna run it. 15 at the 20, lost the football.
Down.
And they say down. The fumble was caused by the field.
Now you got to use the timeouts.
You see Spears with the pressure. Yeah, he was just trying to stretch the ball out, and that's what it popped out.
Ron,
right there.
Major league tackle by Jesse Daniels. Because if he doesn't make that tackle, he's got the first down. He may have it anyway. Going to be close. I don't think he has it.
I think he misses it by about a yard.
Yellow line.
I wasn't going to tell you.
That's a good pick.
It's hard to say. You can look right there and see he didn't get it. So Daniels, 9 tackles, 7 of those solo.
LSU did not use a timeout. They're not charged with the timeout. Now let's see what happens. Yes. Now they got 2.
Okay, so they stop the clock at the 2:16 mark. And now the chess match really begins.
You know what? I'm not going to predict this because I don't predict anything. But Skylar Green has had a bad night. Back returning punts, start catching it. And he is due for a punt return.
Let's take a look at the SEC standing. In case you missed some of the scores today, Tennessee with the shocker between the hedges, knocking off the Georgia Bulldogs. Florida City with a 2-1 record also. But keep in mind, Tennessee at home won in a squeaker over these same Florida Gators. So even if the records remain the same, game in hand as far as Tennessee is concerned.
Well, what a difference a week makes. I was on a talk show. Jared Punch has a talk show up there. I was on the show and everybody was complaining in Knoxville, and all of a sudden, what a difference a week makes. We go from the outhouse to the penthouse quick.
Paul, what have you done for me lately?
In the last 24 hours.
I'll tell you, this is a great conference, and they try to be #1 every year. One thing they're #1 in, that's coach killing. I mean, they go beyond being tough.
Mike's Live's here tonight.
Yeah, you bet. Mike is a really good one. Here comes the punt. And this spiral is off the side of his foot, but he's still got good distance. And now takes an LSU bounce and is going to go back to the 50-yard line. 38 yards on the boot. So, Tigers still got some opportunities. We'll be right back. So the Tigers have a shot. They got 2 timeouts left. 2:06 to play. They're trailing the Gators by 4. Running play and down. Breaks a tackle. He is going to have 16 yards on the play as he'll take it inside the 35-yard line, and D. Webb finally stopped it.
Anytime you see missed tackles like this, they're tired. They're starting to arm tackle. You see Florida arm tackling, and Joseph Badai just running out of the arm tackles.
Sports Center coming up next, immediately following our ball game. Pass right over the middle, and Marcus Randall has that one complete to the 27-yard line to Craig Davis.
Marcus Randall done everything right. He hurts you with his feet, hurts you throwing the football.
Jamarcus Russell, who started tonight and injured an ankle, watching intently on the sideline. They're going to have to hurry here. They're burning a lot of time. Here's a guy running play to the right, inside the 20s, down to the 16, make it the 15-yard line, and it's 1st and 10, LSU Tigers. That'll hold the clock at the 1:15 mark.
Yeah, still 2 timeouts, Ron, so a lot of time with 2 timeouts. The running game has been the difference second half.
Adai, 9 carries, 87 yards. Florida shows blitz. They give it to Adai's open at the 10, and then is going to be hit and driven back with the blitz coming. It looked as though he might have gone right by them, but a nice job by the defenders, particularly Herring and Corey Bailey, and they put the stop on it.
Blocking the offensive line of LSU has taken over this football game.
Both coaches pacing on the sideline. 43 seconds, down to 42. Second down. Randall going to try to run, hit at the line of scrimmage. They're going to have to call a quick timeout here. LSU, the entire coaching staff on the sideline was down saying, stop the clock. 33 seconds left, and it was Everett who led the charge.
Good defensive play by Florida, getting pressure on Randall.
Ray McDonald was one of the guys also applying pressure and forcing him up into the pocket.
Down to 1 timeout now, LSU. Marcus Randall's been hot, Ron. You figure he's going to try to find either Dwayne Bowe or early Doucette here.
Mike, being 3rd down, and of course 3rd down means nothing here because with this little time left in the game, it's a 4-down situation. For Charlie Strong, they've been sending people in abundance on 3rd down. Will they do that here?
I think they will, but you better get to him because you're all of a sudden on islands out there at your corner position. It depends what the formation is, too. They may bring in 2 extra receivers. Look at the formation.
For the Florida players, waving towels, trying to get this crowd totally into it.
Ron, with 1 timeout left, still you have the threat of the run. Because the run has been your best play. Adai and Broussard. So I wouldn't totally give up on this possibly being a running play. You're using your timeout if you don't pick up the 1st down.
Play clock is at 8, down to 7. Direct snap. Throws, got a man in the flat, caught. Hit at the 2-yard line.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, LSU, Joseph Adai. Well, the celebration on the far sideline, and Nick Saban trying to say, hey, guys, let's celebrate in about 27 seconds, but let's make sure we get all this stuff right. Godet with the extra point right down the middle, and a shot Stadium here in Florida. As the extra point is good. What happened, Mike?
This is the fake Bill Walsh play. The 49ers great coach. He liked the misdirection, get a die underneath in the flat. If he's got man coverage on him, somebody might get caught up inside in the crossing action. Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher with an excellent play call.
Now you see why the LSU coaches talked at length about Joseph Adai and what he means to this football team, because they really like this kid because work ethic. They've used him in wide receiver. They've used him at tailback. He doesn't care. He just wants to play and contribute.
That's the position on the team, Ron, that's so deep.
Yeah.
You got Adai. You got all these guys. Broussard, Vincent. They had. I mean, they've got so many running backs, but Adai's the best receiver out of the backfield.
Yes, Jerome Carey, they've used him a lot tonight. Broussard and Nye, you mentioned it. And Vincent actually is the youngster who has really not played that much tonight. And he was the MVP in last year's Sugar Bowl game.
Ron, still 27 seconds, but they need some kind of kickoff return here. They got their 3 timeouts, but they got limited time here. Florida's played hard, and LSU's both teams have played hard.
Sports Center coming up next, immediately following our ball game. Adai has rushed 10 times for 93 yards, 4 receptions for a total of 26 and a touchdown.
This game stays this way. Oh, Marcus Randall's the main guy.
Here's the kick, high spinner. And is going to be caught at the 13 by Caldwell. And Caldwell tackled immediately at the 22-yard line. Now only 22 seconds showing on the clock.
LSU ran the ball so effectively. That little cross action in the backfield froze the linebackers, and the die came free.
Matt Leach, if you're wondering if they get in field goal range, his career long is 50 yards, and that in fact was against LSU in 2003. Leach numbers 14 of 30, 120 and 2 touchdowns. Pressure from the backside, gets it away and he throws it low. And I'll tell you, it's a good thing Lionel Turner didn't turn around, or this ball game would be over.
Tried to get the ball to Andre Caldwell. They need a lot of help right here. Florida needs a long pass play.
16 seconds left. LSU 24, the Florida Gators 21. Leak retreats very deep in the pocket. Now here comes pressure. Throws the pass and just throws it away. Stops the clock with 6 seconds left.
Ron, Chris Leak has, he's been great. And he's played well as a freshman and sophomore. This has probably been the game that he's been the most off. But LSU, credit Will Muschamp. His dad's a high school coach. Always taught Will be strong up the middle. Your linebackers and your safeties. They change up the defense tonight. Confused Chris Leak a little bit.
LSU with 6 seconds left. They dropped the secondary off 25 yards and retreating. And a step up into the pocket. 1 second. No time is left. Throws it across the middle. It's complete. Tackle made. And LSU, what a come from behind win. And let's go down to Aaron Andrews. Aaron.
Well, Coach Saban, you said you'd be very interested to see how your team would respond tonight. What do you think?
Hey, they responded great. I mean, I'm very proud of our team for the way we competed in the game. And, we made our share of mistakes. But the resiliency of how we just try to keep wearing them out is what really won the game for us. And I'm really proud of the way our guys hung in there after getting behind 14-0 in a place like this. I'm really proud of them.
And I know you got to be hoarse because you were screaming for your senior quarterback, Marcus Randall. What was the difference for him tonight, Coach?
Well, he's always played well coming off the bench. And part of the reason we wanted to start DeMarcus was just to see how he'd do. We thought we needed to throw the ball a little bit in this game. And Marcus came off the bench and did a fantastic job. So,
You know, but hey, they're